I want to quote you something that it might be too highbrow for you. I don't know if you've come across it. It's, I think, one of the kind of great pieces of art about creativity and cultural gatekeeping and who gets to offer their gifts to the world. And it's called Ratatouille. And in it, there is a critic called Anton Ego. Have you seen the film?
I haven't.
It is genuinely, I'm joking, but I think Pixar's animations are absolutely packed with profound ideas dressed up as kids' films. But there is a restaurant reviewer who is very snobby about who can cook and who can't. And at the end, he has this kind of mea culpa monologue about the role of the critic. And he starts with the kind of something along the lines of that famous quote that Brené Brown is always talking about. You know, it's not the critic that counts, it's the man in the arena, it's the person who is making things, and starts there. And then he says, I think what a critic at their best can do is make room for the new, to find and champion the new, and kind of take the public by the hand and say, I know this is scary. You know, I know this is not what you're used to, but I promise you, if you give it some time and attention, you will see its value. Do you ever feel like that kind of almost treasure hunting instinct in yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's something that comes naturally to me, which is why it's not probably a surprise if it ended up being a book review. I've always, got excited about new books, wanted to go and tell people about them. I guess maybe I am slightly wary of, I think there's a view of, some novelists and some actors and stuff and filmmakers view critics as basically parasites who can't do what they can do and are therefore resentfully standing outside the industry trying to tell people how to do it when they could never do it themselves. I guess if I'm skeptical about my own, book reviewing, I think criticism is an art in its own right. There's a really good, it's a very Martin Amis thing where he ranks all the different types of writing in terms of difficulty. And I think he goes bottom film scripts, then writing plays, then writing novels, then writing literary criticism, and then the highest one is poetry. And I think actually there is a point to be made that literary criticism at its best requires extraordinary feats of intelligence and accomplishment on the part of the person doing it. You have to be aesthetically sensitive. You have to be a good reader. You have to be able to write superbly yourself. You have to be open to ideas. You have to have a historical knowledge. I think people who write the very highest form of literary criticism are writing some of the highest forms of literature because it demands so much of the critic. And I do think it's true that sometimes critics are working harder than novelists.